mechanisms that aim at providing solutions to problems facing the country. We do not want rumor-mongering or information that is regarded as hearsays. We advocate for messages of peace and unity among the people of South Sudan. This is iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
iRadio, for reliable and objective news from across South Sudan and beyond. You are listening to iRadio, bringing you programs that offer you an in-depth look at the issues that affect you. iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
The Dawn on iRadio.
Right, a very good morning to you and welcome to the second hour of the Dawn program here on iRadio, a live broadcast from the capital, Juba. I'm your host, Emmanuel J, Akile, and today is Friday, the 10th of October, 2025, 15 minutes now after the hour of 7. Now, in the second hour of the Dawn, remember, tomorrow will mark the International Day of the Girl Child, and this year, South Sudan is commemorating under the theme, Ending Child Marriage and Unions. Now, this is a day to celebrate girls, listen to their voices, and also reflect on the challenges they face in education, leadership, and personal freedom, challenges that are particularly urgent in our communities. So to shed more light on this topic, I'm joined live in the studio by Charity Dennis Moga, who is a senior inspector from the National Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare. I have Nancy Deng, representing the girls. She is from Plan International, and also Sharon Mukanyi, who is the head of protection from the Serve the Children. It's good to have all of you in the studio this morning. Welcome to iRadio. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Now, Charity, خلينا نبدأ بك حكومة ومن زول مثلا من وزارة المسؤول. أننا نعرف إنه رغم من إنه في قانون بتاع الطفل لسنة 2008 وخطة بتاع العمل الوطنية لجنوب السودان اللي كان من 2017 ل 2030 لا يزال الزواج بتاع أطفال لسه منتشر على نطاق واسع في جنوب السودان. أري لنا العوائق الهيكلية أو النظامية اللي قاعد يعيق التطبيق الكامل لهذه القوانين لحماية الفتيات. شنو التحديات قاعد يواجه الوزارة شنو في التطبيق بتاع القوانين ده؟
اوكي، شكرا ايمانويل من اجل الفرصه. اول حاجه انا بقول لجماهير شعبنا جنوب السودان، بقول لهم صباح الخير من منبر بتاع اي راديو، واحنا بنسلم كل البنات والامهات المناضلات والقيادات باسم الصباح دولة جنوب السودان. شكرا كتير. نعم، السؤال بطريقة كويس، لكن في حاجات فعلا احنا كناشونال مينستري اوف جندر أن نجي اشتغل حاجات. مثلا العوائق اللي قد يواجهنا انه مرات احنا بنمشوا اندرجراوند، طبعا بيجي من العادات والتقاليد، لكن الناس فاهمين انه حاجة ده خطر العيال، لكن عادات والتقاليد بيشوف انه بنية ده كان حصل له دورة، خلاص بنية ده شنو بقت كبيرة، يعني خلاص بقى يودوه لراجل. ياو ده عوائق اللي يواجهنا. يلا تاني حاجة، في نقص في awareness مرات قاعد تحصل، يعني لما يوصلوا لك لكن الزول بيكون عنيد، الزول ما بيتقبل. والقانون عندنا وقانون موجودة وحسي شغالة، واحنا عندنا أعلنا الكود بتاع حماية الطفل بيتعمل لحماية الطفل في أثناء الزواج المبكر، وإحنا هسه شغالين في توعية، وده جزء من برامج بتاع التوعية ذاته اللي إحنا شغالين فيه. مرات عندنا يوم مؤتمر بتاع بنات، مؤتمر رجع بقوة مرة وقوة بنات، مؤتمر كان حصل في بيجين في 1995. يلا كمان الناس لو كي جو 200 دولة نادوا بقوة. عشان كده قلنا كده برامج ده يكون شعار بتاع ending child marriage انهاء الزواج المبكر. ناو أنا جي اشتغل فوقه عشان ندير بنات ده كده يكون في leadership كده ممكن في position تا power. كمرة يا في power في حاجات كتير بيحصل تغيير. لأن مرة قالوا يقولوا كان تعلمت مرة بيتعلم المجتمع كله. عشان كده احنا شغالين في نوعية ده. وعندنا challenges أننا قاعدين نلقوا مرات أننا ما عنده باجت كافي. يعني قروش ما في كفاية عشان حاجات دي بعمل نسط عشان تبيموف من محل لمحل أزو كده تكون عنده يعني إمكانية دي أو بس التشالنجز الكبير. أنا كان في مينستري باجت أنا بسيط وأنا در كده باجت أنا إنكريس لفوق عشان أنا بحصل الحاجات دي من ناحية مرات بنات في تعليم. التعليم مراتنا بلقوا بنات ما في مدارس لأنه قروش ما في فاميليز وقروش ذاته ما في لأنه عشان بيسابورتومون. دي أكبر تشالنجز يا سيدي مانويل اللي قد واجه مينستري في تطبيق قانون. حتى عندنا الكتاب بتاعنا بتاع ending child marriage أنه كتب في الحدود يعني مثلا بديناه من 2017 ل 2030 عشان انهاء الزواج ده بيكون ما في جنوب السودان وبنات كل شنو بقى متعلمين في مدارس. وتاني حاجة إنه المؤتمرات زي ده احنا قاعد نعمل ده عشان الليدرشيب هم بيفهم إنه نيتس تبانات بنية في جوبيت جيبها من جوبيت يعني ما بيبدا من أننا مثلا في حكومة جيبها من جوبيت بنية ده بعرف ركبه بعرف خسيل كان جي جارو في جوزي ناك ده بنية بيجا مسؤول ده that's why إنه جوا دي كده يكون في قوة تمارا عشان قوة الطلع في شعار في مثلا الشعار ده ending child marriage عشان في مدرسة وفي قيادة دور القيادة. أصلا زي بنية صغيرة أنا جيب في وسط أنا لقي أو بجودي لرسالة للمجتمع مجتمع بعرف قالي بنية ده بيجا فاهم ودي الرول أنا قامله بشركاء بتاعنا عندنا سيف دي تشودين عندنا دي بلان انترناشونال عندنا يونيسيف عندنا يا CNDP UNAPA ده كلنا نشتغل في شنو في خط واحد. شكرا كثير.
All right, Nancy, let me come to you. What are the most critical challenges that you face or girls generally face in your community and which laws alone cannot really solve or address, and how can these challenges now be effectively addressed?
Thank you. I feel like the most critical challenges that the girls are facing right now, this has to do with the limited access they have to education. This can be solved if, this is not only the government, this requires the donors, the sponsors to all join hands and ensure that these girls get a platform to get that education. They can do this by ensuring that there are free and compulsory schools for everyone. So when schools are free, parents cannot use an excuse of not being able to afford for their kids. That's why the kids are not going to school. But then again, schools can be free, but then some parents still don't want their children to study. So if they are compulsory, this will force all parents to ensure that their children are enrolled in school, whether male or female.
Right. Now, Sharon, as from the Save the Children, how do you, as Save the Children, or your programs really address not only the immediate protection of the girls, but also tackle the root causes of child marriage? We're talking about poverty, we're talking about conflict and gender inequality, among many others.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joseph. So for Save the Children, we have various programs, areas. We have child protection, we have education, we have health and nutrition, we have food security and livelihood, as well as child rights governance. And in all these areas of our work, we ensure that we mainstream gender across the programs that we are doing and also the interventions. And considering the issues to do with poverty, conflict, as well as gender inequality, our programs seek to address the root causes through implementing community-led initiatives that address sexual and gender-based violence as well as harmful practices. We also make sure that our programs also are more of gender transformative as well as disability inclusive. We mobilize communities on addressing the negative attitudes towards girls' education, looking at the cultural practices that favor child marriages. For example, working with the Ministry of General Education and Instruction through one of our programs, our nationwide projects of ECW, we've managed to mobilize as well as sensitize over 5,000 parents for them to be able to understand how crucial it is for girls to be enrolled in schools. And so far, I can give a case study of ABA, where we have seen that in as much as there is enrollment, which is 50-50 for both boys and girls, but in terms of attendance, the girls are attending more than the boys themselves. And what we also do is that we work directly also with families and communities to change attitudes as well as behaviors around violence against children. And we do this mostly through engaging in community dialogues, where the parents, the communities themselves are the ones who take lead in terms of addressing their social norms and their practices that infringe children's rights. And in addition to that, we also seek to integrate all our interventions across the sectors that I have highlighted, making sure that we are also providing holistic services to the girls and reducing the economic pressures as well as the effects of conflict and climate shocks by making sure that we are also developing their skills and creating opportunities for families as well as girls to engage in more of productive and sustainable livelihoods. And this include aspects to do with offering them village savings as well as loan associations, also cooperatives and more of farmer groups where the families are playing a major role to make sure that girls are protected. And in all this, the main aspect is for us to be making sure that we are eliminating the root causes of early marriages and also reducing the use of negative coping mechanisms by the families themselves, because most of the time when families don't have positive coping mechanisms, they end up now marrying girls off as a source of livelihood, maybe in exchange of food as well as some kind of income for them to continue to survive as family level. So this is what we are doing.
Right, thank you for that. And let me bring in Charity. Charity, وريلنا يعني كيف الوزارة قاموا التوازن بين التقاليد الثقافية والعادات المحلية وكمان التشريعات الوطنية عشان تكون باموا الضمان لاحترام حقوق بتاع البنات بشكل كامل. يعني في تقاليد مرات ما قرأ سوا بقوانين تنا جنوب السودان. وزارة قاموا شنو في كلام ده وكيف تكون جي عين إنه تنفيذ ده كلام ده قرأ بطريقة كويس؟
شكرا. الوزارة دائما أنا زي ما قلت إحنا بندع السياسات بيطلع منه القانون. احنا ترانا من السياسات بتاعنا تا وزارة ترانا منه قانون تا إنهاء الزواج المبكر. في كتاب اسمه Ending Child Marriage. ده كتاب القانون احنا قاعدين نشتغل به، و العواقب اللي تواجه القانون ده بس يعني أنا قاعد أقول مثلا في نقص في الميزانية ده من ضمن العواقب. لكن الوزارة لما نحن نعمل التوازن حسي بقى فيه تغيير قاعد تحصل، لأننا كل سنة بنعمل مؤتمر للسلاطين بنجيبهم بنعمل لهم تدريب عن إنهاء الزواج المبكر، كيف هم بقر طبقوا في الولايات من بإمبلمنت كيف، ونجي تابع كيف نجي تابع بريفورم وزيارات في استيت. هسا نبقى مؤتمر من جوبا نبقى جيب مفهوم في استيت، عشان في استيت هناك نبيجيبوا مثلا سلطان البارامتيف بيجيب لنا ناس تا كاونتي دي، في ناس الليدرشيب تومون تا ارياس مثلا تا فاميلي ليدر بيجا عشان بيجا فهم كلام لنا قاصدين بيانا دي مهمة تومون شنو مثلا كانوا نتعلم ولا بنية ده فايدة تو شنو كان مثلا بنية ده خارج وبيكون 2 فايدة في بيت. مرات انه التوازن بيكون في مثلا بنية ده يتعلم وبيجا خلاص بيجيب تكون قروش وبعدها بيتزوج وبيجيب له تكون عيال كده فاميلي بيجا شنو كبير وبيجا عنده اسم ذاته في المجتمع. ده يعود سبب أن جرا إن بيجا جوا دي في كتلة الصغيرة في غاري هسه سنة دينا بام في تركيكا النبي هسه جو أورجانايز عشان ناس تركيكا كله بفياماتهم من كلهم بيجا أتين يلا بعدهم بفهم. هسه مرات في مجتمعات تانيين إن جرا تبي لجو مثلا ناس بيجا ما فاهم ذاته بناس وكرر شنو. دي أول حاجة كبير، لأن أصلا من زمان ناس جرابا ناس ما فاهم بناس سكر، بس قال بناس سكر ده اللي يقول يسوي دورة تو ماجا، لكن ما مار قال بناس سكر من 18 لتحت. عشان كده قانون تانا ده وري لمون 2008 ده قال في حاجه ثانيه سمتوها عند age ده من 17 لتحت بنا ده او خطير في الزواج. يعني انت ما بيجوزوا سكيل زول زي ده يلا خلاص 30 غرفه في مجتمع قوري. يعني انت بيجي انا كان وصل مرات في استيت نقول له سلطان يا قال لنا الزواج ما في اسد ثاني نغير جبنا ده مدرسه كان الحامل ده وانا كي ده مسؤول يلا بينا ده في مدرسه. يعني ده حاجه جميل.
يعني ان شاء الله كانوا حامل او لسه جريجه في سكول
يعني بيكونتينيو في سكول. اي ده حاجه جميل الحسه يعني طلع في الكتاب ده واحنا كلنا ك مينستري اننا مرتاحين انه خلاص في تغيير جه حصل وفي فعلا اتشيفمنت لبنات. هسه بنات يجي ناجي من اولاد يلا بنات كمان هسه هم مسؤولين في بيوت. يعني انت بتلقى انه ولدوا 3 بنات و10 اولاد لسه متجوزوا مربيتهم لكن بيت بقى كبير ومن اسم تاع بنات. عشان كده احنا فخورين ببنات بتاعنا تا جنوب السودان امون قاسمه كلام. وتاني التوازن انه احنا قلنا لناس ما يعملوا بنات ده مثلا يعني ده او خلاص بتاع هنا ورثه بتاع مثلا كان ودي في راجل خلاص في بقرات فيه وفي قروش بيجا في جوبيت. ده هو التوازن الحاصل بقى مرة. أنا قلنا للنسوان ده انتوا خشوا في كلام بناتكم. كان يوم الجيو كلام بناتك صغير قد في جوزوا توالي كده تعرفوا. نسوان كمان بقى قلب دور من بقى قالوا خشوا في مجتمعات. زمان كان في عرس ما بين دي مرة عشان بيجي ونسوا مع رجال في كلام تبينيته. لكن حسب بيجوا من بخشوا ده شنو ده ترو اوين سنة قاموا. يعني مينستري انا ده ما جنوب انا بيشتغل عشان لاجل جنوب بتاعنا لاجل شعب بتاعنا ولاجل بنات بتاعنا. وحاسه ان ذاته دخل فوق باولاد يعني ولا صغير انما ما دار كده جوزه لا انا ولد ذاته كان جوزه من مسؤوليه. ده تعب تاني في بيت شغل ومدرسه ده ما بقدر جا أنا دير كده ولد جاني كمان ولد مسؤول. أنا كان روح أنا جيشيل أوين زال 2 وحتى أنا دير كتب باجت لأولادنا بعمل دي لأولاد عشان أولادي كمان كده منار وقالي جنوب السودان جهيبومون.
All right. Now, Nancy, let me come to you. How has early or forced marriage impacted girls' ability to pursue education, leadership roles, and even personal aspirations? What do you think?
Okay, thank you. So child marriage is an activity that actually robs the girl of her childhood. So the chance where you're in school and you're discovering your interests and what you want to do, that has all been robbed from you. You are now forced into a life where you're now going to take responsibility for another person, and then after some time as a child yourself, you are having another child. So in that process you lose focus on what you actually want in life, because you're not given the opportunity or the chance again to focus on yourself and your dreams. It's now about what your in-laws want, what your husband wants, what your child wants. So you're a child who has been forced to abandon all your dreams, and you have now been pushed to a life that is actually supposed to be for a big person. So you have not been allowed to develop.
And how is this being addressed where you come from? And maybe tell us to inform the public where you came from and give some examples.
Well, where I came from, I'm from Lex. The rates of early child marriage are very high there. And then I've also seen organizations like Plan. They advocate a lot for the girls, and then they are able to help these girls when they bring their issues to them. But then the problem again is that these girls actually don't know where to run to. So most times when they are approached by such problems, they just follow along with them. So we are just getting that. So hopefully through more advocating, we can finally reach there.
And also, this is one of the awareness that we are doing here together with Save the Children and also the ministry. Now, Sharon, let me bring you in. Which strategies have proven most effective in shifting community attitudes toward early marriage, and how scalable are these approaches across the country here in South Sudan?
Okay, so as Save the Children, we have various proven approaches that have been used across the movement and even in other countries, which we are also even employing here in South Sudan. And we believe that these are really scalable to making sure that we are shifting the community attitudes towards to early marriages. One of them is the supporting girls empowerment as a strategy, whereby we invest in girls to advance their agency, to advance their participation as well as their well well-being. And through working with adolescent girls as champions in advocacy to ensure their voices and priorities are reflected in advocacy initiatives, and we use the child clubs as a more of a common model that we are currently working with together with the Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, also with the Ministry of General Education and Instruction. This is scalable in the sense that we have set up various children's clubs in schools, and within these particular clubs, girls are really playing a key role in terms of highlighting the issues that like what Nancy has been highlighting, the main aspects that are affecting girls in the schools, and at the same time taking them up even at national level. At national level, we as Save the Children, we have supported and we are continuously supporting even the National Children's Parliament, which is really working hand in hand with the ministries as well as other partners to making sure that by the end of the day, we are discussing aspects that are affecting children and making sure that all these are even addressed in the laws as well as in the strategies that are being used by the country in terms of making sure that we are eliminating child marriages. Then we also have an approach of mobilizing families and communities as well, whereby we are engaging with the families, with communities, and when I say communities, we're including religious leaders, we're including the traditional leaders, the chiefs, as well as the other people that are of influence in the community, so that by the end of the day, as we're engaging with them, together with the young people, we are changing the attitudes and behaviors related to child marriages. In South Sudan, currently, there's a lot that is happening in terms of the communities coming together and trying by all means to address this issue on their own, with us just giving support. I can give an example of Mangala. Currently, the community in Mangala is coming up with bylaws that specifically address the issues to do with child marriage, because this is a main aspect which is of concern in that particular Payam of Juba. And what we have also done, especially with our Back to School campaigns, this is really assisting, especially when it comes to this particular approach, because when we do the Back to School campaigns, it's really making parents as well as the communities to support the girls to be enrolled as well as retained in schools. And this we are doing even with the support of different donors, the ECW, NORAD, as well as DANIDA. Then the last strategy that is also working very well, and which can also be continuously scalable, is making sure that we are providing services which are holistic, so that as we are reinforcing these services and tailor making them to the needs of the girls are continuously also remaining in school. The aspects to do with minimizing the risks of child marriages also is mitigation measures that are also put in place, and the continuous also engagement in terms of providing them with the needs that they require at school level, menstrual hygiene kits, assistive devices, especially for children who are challenged. Then also aspects to do with learning materials, and also making sure that they have more of income generating projects, especially for the young mothers. It's really making sure that the girls continue to be remaining in school, and these are some of the approaches that are really scalable and that we can continue to do together even with other partners.
Right. خلينا نجيك charity قبل أنه نسي موضوع بتاع سنتين وناس المسؤولين كم وزارة اتأكد كيف إنه الجهات المسؤولة زي قادة بتاع مجتمع والسلطات المحلية والأسر إنه تكون بأكد إنه هم بينفذوا قوانين ضد زواج بتاع الأطفال. يعني مرات في الباباتريتس أو في ناس المرات هم بيحمل عيال سكر أو بيجوزوا عيال سكر، لكن مرات ما جي حاسبوهم، يعني هم جي سيبوهم أو مرات ما جو شيلوهم في محكمة. طبعا في جيبنا نعرف في جي في كود اللي يقوم بأدوار توال كويس، لكن برضو في بالذات في الولايات ناس جيهلوا حاجات بطريقة بتاع بلد، ويال مرات يعني بيسيبوهم ما بقدر عينوا مستقبل بتاعهم يعني لقدام، خاصة البنات.
نعم شكرا. زي ما أنا وريتك من قبل، أنا قلنا أننا قاعدين نستخدم السلاطين والأسسمنت بتاع كتاب بتاع Ending Child Marriage طلع من سلاطين ومن الكوميونيتي ومن ذاته بينفذوا. يعني زي ما أنا وريتك أنه كان مشينا في الستيت في الولاية ومن بيقولوا لنا كان ناس فلان درجوزوا بنياتهم أننا دخلنا even كان في كنيسة مبامل أوينس ومن عندهم جروبات صغير جروبات ده قوري لهم كله information الجاهلة. طبعا إتعرف مجتمعات بتاعنا الناس كله بعرفوا بعض. لما نحس إنه نكون ده اريا بتاع ناس أي راديو بارو جرانتو منو ده منو منقامل في شنو. That's why منقام عملوا إنه في إنه focal person في جو community. يلا بودي لهم كلامات ده كله مثلا فيلان ده امبارح بنياتو حملو وترجو بنيا ده وشيلو قروش خلاص بيجا كمان سلاطين جيجا. تعرف كمان في تقاليد الفي بيجا كلم لا بنيا ده ما في جوزو بنيا ده بريجي وين في مدرسة وبنيا ده ده تا مسؤول من بنيا ده. يعني حاجات كتير قرا في تنفيذ ومن ماجي دوسو حاجات في جو محلات. يعني تنفيذ قانون ده في هسي شغال هسي كانتانو في كوبر في ناس في سجن هسا في موبايل كود شغال في جوجوبا في سجن هناك. موبايل كود ده شغال وموبايل كود ده قحسب يعني الزول العمل جريمة بتاع إنهاء الزواج المبكر يا موبايل كود ده لحد في ولايات هسا في تاني هسا في بانتي وشغال تا أنتي جوبي بي ده تا أنتي جاي المارك ده. وتاني في كمان هسا جيجاروا كانوا في رومبيك قريب ده في جيجاروا يعني في موفينج وجدوا مو بسلاطين ده. طبعا زانا وريتك سلاطين ده قد يربوهم في قوانين بتاعنا العالية ده عشان هم بيفهم في شنو حاصل. لأنه مني ناس في مرات قودا موصولنا مني ناس زي قودا في محل داك ومن ما جيدوسو وانا جي ميك شور ابريفوم انه انا جاينو اسسمنت ده خلاص حاجة ده بيجا ما في وحاجة ده ما في زواج حاصل في محل داك.
Right. Yes, let me come to Nancy. Nancy, in your view, how can girls collectively now challenge harmful social norms and become leaders of change within their communities?
Okay. As the main victims of the problem, if we can continue to advocate for ourselves, continue to speak for ourselves before the other people stand up for us, and then let's also be the ones to lead this change, because sometimes, we are given the chance to go to school, but then you're given that chance and then you go, for example, and get pregnant. You have not only ruined that opportunity for yourself, but for the other girls that were actually going to get that opportunity if you had used it well. So let's know what we want and be focused on getting it. Don't say you want this and then get distracted by another thing tomorrow.
Yes, Sharon, you earlier talked about something you want to dwell on later. Let me bring this question to you and you tell us, share with us a specific example where an intervention, for instance, successfully changed a girl's life trajectory and steering her away from early marriage and actually toward empowerment.
Okay, thank you very much. The example that I can give is that as Save the Children, we have interventions which we work with female role models and who are women with real life stories who have experienced child marriages firsthand and have managed to transform themselves and their lives. And through that kind of intervention or a model, we are using that now to change even the lives of the girls that we are working with across the country, where we are operating as Save the Children directly as well as with our partners. With one of the cases for when we worked with the role models, we have a role model who has gone through early marriages, and that particular role model, in as much as she was at some point not being given opportunity to go to school, to study further and so forth, but she managed to change their own life through the children's clubs that I was highlighting before, where we are empowering girls and making sure that they are able to continue. And when she now passed that stage, she's now a head teacher somewhere, and working together with her as a role model, she is now even imparting the same kind of knowledge that she had before. She didn't have before, but she now has it in terms of how it is important for girls to stay in school, and even the complications that come with it when girls are married at an early age. So by the end of the day, the girls that we are working with are being turned away from getting married early, but they are now redirecting their energies, as well as making sure that as we are continuously talking even with the parents and the communities, they are also seeing the value of the girls being in school. So with that kind of model, it's really assisting now to making sure that we are changing the trajectory of the girls' children and making sure that they continue to be empowered and stay in school and not necessarily carried away or getting into marriages. Then what we are also doing, or what we have also done over the years, working hand in hand with the girls, is making sure that as we are working with these particular girls and empowering them, one of the success stories that we have is that 3 of the girls that we have really worked with and we have been steered away from early marriages, they've managed even to come up with their own girl-led organizations, which are even doing a lot of work here in South Sudan. And 2 of them as well have been supported by Save the Children in terms of transitioning also even for further education outside of the country, where they are now even studying different programs. Some are in the United States and some are even in the UK. So it's really assisting the girls to making sure that they continuously stay in school and attend away from early marriages, but making sure that their lives continue to be focused and the girls are continuously empowered. So this is what I can share in terms of the interventions that we are doing and which are really making a lot of change in the lives of girls.
Right, thanks for that. بيجيبنا لحوالي ربع ساعة لرأس الساعة، وإحنا بنتكلم في يوم بتاع بكرة، وحيكون اليوم العالمي للبنات أو للفتاوى بيحتفلوا به في جنوب السودان في السنة دي تحت شعار إنهاء زواج الأطفال والاتحادات. ده الوقت اللي فيه نرفع المكالمات على أرقامنا 0911 أو 22 986 986. Straight to the point, your name, where you're calling from, and your question. iRadio.
Hello, مرحبا.
Yes.
معك فرانكو سيري.
تفضل.
سؤالك غير كالاتي. طبعا هو الضيف قال يا اخي انه عدوا الكتيبه للسلاطين والسلاطين بنفذ الكلام ده على الواقع. هسه حاليا بيني وبينك اكيله البنات الصغار اللي بيعملوها في العادات والتقاليد ما غير اي حاجه. البنت صغيره ما اقل من 18 سنه لازم نحولها. السلاطين ذاته ما هم اول حاجه بيضمنوا قروش حقهم. ده بيقولوا شيء ما عندهم قضيه انه ده 18 سنه ولا 17 سنه. حقهم بس انه هذا بيقول له الارواب كتاب ولا حق العفايه يدفع لهم كاش. صغير وما صغير ما يشغل به. ليه؟ لان السلاطين ما بياخذوا مرتبات عندهم. هم ما عندهم مهنيه عشان هم ينفذوا البوليسي بتاعت الوزاره. فانا سؤالي لهم هو السلاطين الموجوده هل انت عندهم مرتبات ولا لا؟ شكرا جزيلا.
alright. قبله قال انه موضوع فاندينج هو بيجاوبوا بعدين في الموضوع ده. راديو. نعم. تفضل طوالي.
Yeah, straight to the point. أنا عندي 2 questions لدي. أنا أول حاجة مرة I was remembered some years back في الدنيا في كان في جوز جوا وإذا ما جرى بار من مال في جوز أبو توجد كلا هنا سوبر. وده challenge كان حصل كان في لما دخل السوشيال ميديا. أنا ما أعرف كذا له وصل وين. يوم ذاك لأنه الناس كان طلب منه أبو ده إيش يقول في جوا. هذه من كوزارة. منتابع جديد حاسة أبوه مثلا في سجن ولا وين دوالي. نمبر 2 يعني في أولاد برضو سخار في أعمار ما بنات بس في أولاد سخار في أعمار من 17 18 بيجي بيحرزوهم مرة كبير في عمر. تبغى ممكن مرة كبير في عمر لكنه بيجي حارس وبيك يعني دول خير. أنا ما شفنا كمان كثير بالبنات يعيشوا أمم بلوجي كيف مثلا مع أولاد السخار برضو أجد بدنا رجع لهم يا لا تاني فادية ناس ما يقولي أجد بقى بيجي تسوية عشان كان في حاجة كده حصل سؤال ترى وريد البوليس أو ترى في وزارة الدفاع.
alright. شكرا لك. iRadio.
Emmanuel J, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
David from Wow.
David, welcome.
Let me welcome your guests in the studio. Number 1, أنا عندي سؤال ما بتاع وزارة and في مشكلة واحد بيت لو داري يعرضوه ولسه سهر وابا وما داري يعرضوه. أنتم ناس وزارة أنتم قاعد بساعد بيت كيف؟ ما في ناس اللي دينا قال بيت لو أبا راجل بتردو برا من بيت. لو جاء عملكم ملك أنتم كان وزارة أنتم بعمل بوشون مساعدة أنتم بعمل اللي بيت اللي أنتم مشكلة ده. ده واحد. نمرة 2 التوعية أو دراسة قاعد بعمر لبنات دي ليه ما قاعد يدرس شباب عشان من يعرف مسؤولية بتاع مشكلة. Coming to all the girls, number 1, there is something said that if you educate a girl, you educate what? A nation. By now you agree with your daughter that please study until you finish the university. Unfortunately, she will be integrated on the way. So the father will become annoyed and immediately he will not allow you again to study. Because according to the culture, any girl who have already going to the house of Maman should not be allowed to do another business. She must remain in the house as a housewife. Remember that I'm from those groups who are not married with the cows. So this is our motto. If we agree with you to study, make sure if you made a mistake, we will not forgive you again. Why are you not aware in yourself so that you keep even a culture that is a principle? Why are you not respecting the culture of South Sudanese in the state of Western world? Lastly, is about education. The curriculum of South Sudan is not talking about sex and prevention. It is called taboo now in this country. But it is supposed to be taught in the school so that all the girls are being informed to protect themselves instead of making it taboo and they can make a mistake unknowingly without knowing it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, David McGock. Let's pick one more call. Hi, Radio. Hello, Radio. All right. رجع تاني واتصل علينا. عندنا 11 دقيقة عشان نختم البرنامج. Hi, Radio. Yes. شبكة انقطع. Hello, Radio.
الو اكيله.
Yes.
جد
جد من واو تفضل.
اكيله انا بس دار اسال دفنا من الاستديو. انا دار اقول له شنو؟ اقول له انا بتخليه دفنا يعني انا الزوج المبكر بتخليه قل بسيطه لكن المشكله من الاكيله.
نعم جدو. Alright, فقدنا جدو بالخط. Radio.
Radio, how are you?
Yes.
Community advisor from Community Board.
Community advisor from board. Straight to your question.
Yes. I don't know if you educate the lady, they used to go and adopt different cultures and abandon their culture as South Sudanese culture, because we have the four cultures. What advice can you give to those ladies who usually adopt different cultures to go and overuse their bodies and to say I'm well educated, I know what is supposed to be done and other things? What advice can you give it to them?
All right, thank you. Yes, let's come back to our guest in the studio. في بعض من الأسئلة بعربي وأنا بديه ل تشاريتي تقدر تجاوب بكل اختصار لبعض من الأسئلة ده وبعد ذاك ممكن ضيوف الاثنين حيضيفوا لبعض من الأسئلة. عندنا فرانكو سليمان وكمان ديفيد مغوك. تفضل.
نعم، شكرا للمتصلين على الأسئلة. ففرانكو أسئلته واحدة إنه مرتبات لسلاطين مش هاي السلاطين ده دايما هم بيكونوا تابعين لحكم المحلي، وزي ما أنا قاعد أقوله في كلام بتاعنا إحنا كمينستري إحنا بنكون شركاء مع ناس في ستيت، يعني الناس اللي في ستيت والحكم المحلي وجزء من شنو من الحكومة، عشان كده إحنا بننفذ مع السلاطين البرامج ده. كلام مرتب ده طبعا حاجة عندهم هناك في حكم المحلي، لكن أن كيفية ننجح العيال من التحديات ومن الضربات الخارجية وكيف أن نقوي البنات في المجتمع.
أوكي.
أي. والسؤال الثانية بتاع بنية العين وقدوب عبودة، المحكمة ده ما أصلا ماشي، القرار لسه ما طلع، المحكمة في الاستئناف. أنا كشوشة وكان ذاته شخصيا أنا قاعد نتين كود ده، لكن عملوا فوق استئناف وإحنا كمينستري لسه نجتابي ما في حاجة بحصل في جنوب السودان هنا ومن ناشونال مينستري ما عارفة نقولوا حاجات ده لسه أنا في تحت متابعة ناس كده استنا بيلقوا بعدين قرار اللي طالع. السؤال الثالث ده إنه كيف أنا ما قاعدين ننصح شنو الأولاد مش هنا قاعد نركز لبنات بنات
يس awareness برضو لبويز
importance بتاعه أي أهمية التوعية للأولاد. أنا قاعد نعمل توعية حاسة إنه قونوا سده كولد فيه وباصمة ويوم تا بنات دال تا بكرة دي ما بنات براو يا جيجا براو أولاد جيجا ويوم ده يكون في برلمان كمان يعني أنا كنا ودي جواب في المدارس ودينا أنا كل يال ده زمان كلم أصل أنا ما ترى لسه كتاب عشان شنو براد دايركت كده لبويس لكن شنو البويس تحت الأولاد يلا كان انت شفته في المجتمع بنات يا مدرين أكتر كان أنا ولد جنة تاي ولد وبنيات وأنا نجيش الولد ده وين في مدرسة أنا بسيبه بنية ده عشان كده الناس بعدها بفكر أول ببنية دي أو أسباب.
Alright. Yes, let me come to Nancy briefly. I want you to comment on the issue of girls abandoning their culture. And he talked, the community advisor was talking about going to the Western culture or externally, and also the issue of when a girl is married off. Sometimes they don't go back to school, and this becomes, people feel like it's a culture. When once you are married, your role is to be a housewife. So what would you say in that regard as a way forward?
So first on the culture, you know, there are some cultures that with time we have to change. It's not a must that we should be tied down to those cultures and then they should continue. If a girl can, if there is a way she can multitask by doing her duties as a wife and she can still continue to pursue her education, then why are we putting a block to that? Let's allow her study, because I don't see why her life should end, her dream should end just because she's married. She can still manage to do both. And then with the Western cultures, that's not associated with school, because remember our boys also go to school and they also make mistakes. How many boys in school now are doing drugs? But are we stopping them from going to school? We are not. So mistakes are part of the life's journey. Allow someone make her mistakes and she will learn from them. So yeah, they will be making all these mistakes, but it's not associated with the school.
Right. Sharon, let me bring you in. I think you got some questions. You would like to add something on that. And also the issue of culture, but also the importance of awareness. And he talked about chiefs sometimes are even taking advantage of such situations to take money when we have the issue of child marriage, and they don't care about ensuring that the girls go back to school. And one question, important question, was also about the importance of sex education in schools. We tend to look at it as Africans. It's not. It's something like a taboo. We should not educate our girls when it comes to sex education, and we wait until they go for that mistake, and then we come and talk to them about that. So talk to us about it a little bit.
Okay, thank you for that. So the Ministry of General Education and Instruction has a curricula specifically on comprehensive sexual education, which has Save the Children. We are also supporting in terms of making sure that at school level, in all the schools that you are working with, teachers, they also are conversant of that curriculum, and they are also able to disseminate as well as teach the children with regards to the contents of that. So I believe that this is a very good thing, because by the end of the day the children are able to understand the issues to do with sexuality, also the vices that are there, the pros, the cons, and also the issues that are around aspects to do with sexual and reproductive health, and also the education aspects. In as much as we understand that currently in South Sudan people have different notions in whether sexual education should be taught or not, but as an agency or as an organization, we support also what the government has already laid in place, already set in place, to make sure that by the end of the day such kind of information is disseminated, because by the end of the day it's going to assist both the girls and also the girls and the boys. They are going to be supported and to be assisted. Yeah,
right. Right. We have about 4 minutes to end up. But let me read a few comments here on our Facebook page. Jack Putin is saying good morning and is watching us live from Willtown. We have Juma Wilson is also watching us live from Kenya. We have Makum is watching us live from Warap. But then also there's another question here, or very important point I want you, Charity, briefly, Shantabi Job of Alberto is saying, is the ministry, is saying, I didn't see a woman taken to court due to a boy-child marriage. A boy-child marriage. Ufi swal gibel wunu simodo da. I want you briefly to comment on that. O kaman galifinu swan kubar ki jawza awlat sokar mahalo kalam da mago nusu. Jawabu fogo bekul ikhtisar.
نعم شكرا من أجل السؤال
GBV against boys and men also.
GBV day for all. أنا كلم GBV for all. يعني إتاك مرة itendu hak itaka rajil indu hak lakini fi mujtama daiman الولد عنده فدية راجل عنده فدية هو بيلقوا سكر مرة كبير زانا زي برالو يلا خلاص هو بيكافر يشتكي لا أنا جوا نصف المجتمع تجي يشتكي كلام تمارا ده سكول فدية بخليهم ما يشتكي عندنا بس وان كيس يا ريبورت في GBV هناك واحد كيس راجل ده جوا نص واده وما ملو فدية ولا كده أنا من بعد أنا جي كلمة الرجال كده منجا كان دوجيتا في بيت تعالوا نصو طبعا في النسوان تاني كوني دا عدالات كمان تدوجو رجال اي كان دوجيتا بس تجاو نص كمان تا قانون بيجري مجراه لا انا قانون ده ما ترى لمارا بالذات قانون تا GBV ما لمارا برا.
All right. I give you each 30 seconds for your last message. Nancy, what would you say as we prepare to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child? What would you say briefly on behalf of girls?
Okay, thank you. So there's a saying that goes, educating a girl is educating the nation. So my hope is that us as South Sudanese begin to invest more in the girl child education. And then to the girls, although there are lots of challenges that face us when it comes to us fighting for our education and our rights, let's continue to hold on and continue to voice our ideas and our thoughts to help and to advocate for every girl, even those that don't have the voice to do so.
All right. Yes, Sharon.
Okay. Thank you. The last part in short from me is that we need to continuously understand the attitudes, the beliefs, as well as the norms that are sustaining early marriages in South Sudan for us to be able to really come up with specific strategies that can address this particular issue. And at the same time, this aspect is a collective, it requires collective efforts from everyone so that by the end of the day, we make sure that we are protecting our girls. And what we want to see is that we need to see girls continuously be in schools and both boys and girls also being protected from all forms of violence when it comes to them also being able to survive, being able to learn and being able to be protected.
Yes, Charity.
نعم أنا رسالتي كده للمجتمع حسي والناس القانية يسمونه نشجع الكلام بتاع التعليم بتاع بنات في المدارس. أنا كده كمجتمع كلنا نشجع. ونمرة 2 أنا وندي رسالة خاصة للنسوان في البيوت أمهات بالخاص أمهات بنات كده هم نعلموا بنات حاجات الكويس كلام تا إنترنت اليومين ده كتير كده هم راغبوا كده هم نعلم بنات كيف بنات بقدر يتعاملوا في ركابه وكيف بقدر يستقبل دفان ده جزء بيخلي بنيه يكون عنده زمن في بيت وما بيكون عنده زمن لبرامج الزواج. يعني كانوا يجي يوصل في مجتمع تاني وبوصل بأدب الكويس وبتقاليد الكويس.
All right. Thank you very much, Charity, Nancy, and Sharon. Thank you all for joining us on the Dawn today. Thank you. Right, with that, we have come to the end of the Dawn edition for today. Do join us again on Monday at the same time to get the latest on what's happening in South Sudan and beyond the borders. Up next, news in Arabic with the Baj Ukud Shaga. On behalf of the Dawn team, Paulina Atea, one Mosin producer, Diko Di Andrew, this has been Emmanuel Joseph Akile. Do have a great weekend. We meet again on Monday.